Hello everyone, I'm here today with a new process video. I'm working on a single page 6x12 layout. These are all photos from my time in Amsterdam. And as you can see, I have two empty pockets here. I think I want one card that is just more kind of a background card, so I could just have a phrase on it or something. And then the other one, I think I want journaling or maybe some kind of card where I can build it with ephemera pieces, a phrase, something like that. I also think I am going to go into my Pinterest account and see if I can find some examples of things that I might like to do with the cards and then add to the photos, because I have a lot of photos of buildings from Amsterdam and Brussels. So I'm going to end up with several pages like this highlighting architecture, but I don't want them all to look the same, and I don't need to journal on every single one of those. So I'm hoping something in Pinterest will inspire me. I did also grab out my bin here. I've removed all the Chicago stuff, and I have my Amsterdam and Brussels stuff in here. So I can certainly go in and look at all the cards and the ephemera and stamps and things to see what I can make for these two pockets, and then what else to add to the rest of the layout. Okay, I printed out this layout from In a Creative Bubble. It's pinned to my Pinterest account, and I noticed something I really like on these, and it's that these cards all have a photo on them cropped down smaller. Sorry if you can hear the siren in the background. They all have the photo cropped down smaller and then something added to the card, like there's a washi strip or pattern paper and a little wood veneer, something like that. I really like that idea of building at least one of the cards that way. However, I need another photo then to do that, because I don't want to cut down any of these. I do have plenty of extras, so I think my next step then is going in and finding another photo that I want to use. Then I will go in and try to start finding a card that will work with that. But first, the photo. I printed this photo, and I thought this was a good choice because you can see that it's fall with the leaves changing here, but you can also still see the architecture and quintessential bikes in Amsterdam. So I thought that's a nice mix because there are little pops of plants here, trees, little plants in front of someone's front door there. I thought that would be a nice mix, and because you're only going to get a little bit, maybe I can focus on this right here with this lovely street lamp and then the tops of these two buildings. So I have that. Now I have to go through my cards and pick out things that I think will work here. Color-wise, do they have space? So I could do something like this where I can cut down the photo maybe into a smaller square or even slightly rectangular and make it fit. So wish me luck. We'll see what I find. In that pile of cards that I had thrown in there, I have found two that I like. This one definitely want to use because it's Amsterdam. It even says it. And I have the buildings, so I want those there. And then I have this one, which isn't quite what I thought. I was looking for something a little bit more colorful, but it's gray, which is a neutral, so that's fine. But if I use it, I feel like the picture will bring in some color, but I will need to have something around it, like what's featured over here, to bring in these other colors, because yeah, I have the blues and brown, but I don't have much of this pale yellow. I just feel like I need something else to make that work and make it look cohesive with all of this. So the first thing I'll do is cut down my photo, then I'll worry about the rest later. So really I just have to measure this, and I'm guessing it's probably 2x2 or slightly larger, but I'll measure it and then I'll know how to cut my photo. So when I measured this, it actually was bigger than I thought. And really it worked better to cut this down to 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. And then I get a little bit of a white border around it, which is similar to what you see here. And I really like the way that looks. So I'm going with that. And it does bring in some nice color. And actually this part of the building looks similar to the brick wall here. So the color kind of worked itself out there, which is great. And then I'm thinking maybe a pop of red. somewhere because I have this bright red building, a red bicycle, and I don't have red anywhere else. So I might work that in here or with some phrases or embellishments. But so far I'm happy with the way this is looking, particularly this. This is a bonus that the picture has worked out so well. And then down here, I don't know if I'm actually going to journal. I might stamp something or find an embellishment that will fit in there. We'll see. On my desk, I just happen to have a bunch of Ellie Studio ephemera pieces here that I have yet to punch out, and I happen to notice that on this one, it has a red one that says right now, and I'm thinking I may just punch that out here, if it'll cooperate, and use it. Maybe I'll go opposite, like that, so that this is on the left side and this is on the right side. All right, I have that attached, and I have decided that on this card, I'm actually going to do a little stamping. I have this stamp set. It's the Wander set from Carrie Bradford's studio, and I'm thinking about using this stamp set, or the stamp that says "Seen Today," and putting it right under the word Amsterdam. It's kind of bigger, a little bit bigger than I would like. So, I mean, my only other option is to use one of these smaller ones, if I want to use the same set, that is. And there aren't really any other phrases there that I like. And it's kind of funny because this one says, I love, or in love with this place. And one of the things I have said about Amsterdam is that I did enjoy it. I really did. But I didn't love it. I liked it. I didn't love it. And I've said the same thing about Paris, and people are like, what, are you crazy? It's just my personal feeling from the time I spent there. Would I be willing to go back and try again and do something else? Of course. But I don't want to use the phrase saying, I'm in love with this, because it's not true. So I think I'm going to go with the one that just says "Seen Today." Okay, so I did my stamping. It turned out perfectly, and I love it. So now that's done. And now I can turn my attention back to this card. When I was looking at it, it doesn't feel done to me. And I think I have a set of some Ellie Studio puffy stickers that have this very sort of pale cream yellow color. I can't remember if they're stars or hearts. I'm hoping they're stars. But I wouldn't not use a heart if that's all I had, but I think I would prefer a star. So I'm going to go see if I can find those in my stash, and then I'll be back. This was the set I was thinking of. These are a little bit brighter than I remembered them being, and so I don't know that I want to use those. But I don't mind the star here where the stripes are very, very subtle. You don't really see the brightness of the yellow, so I think I'm going to pull off one of those and put it right here. When I went to put this star on there, I decided I didn't like it. It was too close to the color of the building. So I actually went with a more mustard brown color. I felt like it looked better with the building there, and with up here, it brings in some of those darker tones that I have. So I decided to go with that one instead, and I really like that. So now I think this card is done. My problem is, because these are in opposite corners, I want a visual triangle, but where do I put anything else? It's not going to be an easy triangle because these are on a diagonal line with each other. So I'm not quite sure about that. If I do something, it maybe would have to be over here on the side, or maybe up here on this side, or maybe even towards the middle. I mean, then it's more even in a diagonal line. I'm just sort of stuck. I didn't think that through before I did it. I could potentially maybe switch some things like this and then have something up here. I don't know. I'm going to play around with it and just see what I can do now that this has already been started. I pulled out my envelope of ephemera things here that I had thrown in there that I thought might work with what I have going. And it's kind of a mix of stuff that I have still from Chicago, plus other things that I threw in here that I thought might work for Europe as well. They've sort of become a mishmash of stuff. And in there was this, and I think I put this in there for Chicago, not for Amsterdam, but I'm going to use it anyway. I love it that it's red, it's got a little heart, and it says this view, which would be perfect, I think, right in the middle here. It's small, but yet it brings in some red, but the background is white. So it's not super distracting that it's solid red, kind of like this one as the background. It's red on white, which breaks it up a little bit. And I think that's just a much better fit. And I actually do like the cards like this since I switched them around, especially then I get some visual triangle with the red. So I'm going to go for it. When I went back to look in my bin, I realized this is actually the envelope that I had with stuff in it that I thought might work for Amsterdam. Not this one. They're the same type of envelope from Citrus Twist. This is actually the Chicago one. So I just used something that was meant for Chicago, but I don't care because I love the way it looks. And I think I don't need anything else with this one. So all I need to do is put it in the pockets and it's ready to go. So I'm glad I took a look at this. It helped me design this pocket, which I normally wouldn't do things like this, but I love the way it looks. So it worked out well. But here's another one finished for Amsterdam. Thanks for watching.